You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host, Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts, Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
You are listening to The Money Hour at 1150 AM, KKNW. Happy New Year, the Friday, January 8th virtual show, our first show of 2021. Because of COVID, we are temporarily virtually. You can also listen to us on podcast. You can catch us on air on Saturday at 3 p.m. with a rebroadcast on Sunday at 8 a.m. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We bring into studio each week the best of the best experts in our local market on everything regarding your life and your money. We are here to help you in today's economy. And now in studio, we have Kimberly Sauceda of Sauceda Coaching, Mental Fitness, 3 keys to impact your well-being, right here on 1150 AM KKNW. Kimberly, welcome. And I am sorry for messing up your pronunciation of your name, but we're very excited to have you here.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here too.
Yeah, thank you. And a little bit about Kimberly, 20 years of marketing experience in top tier companies like Apple. Kimberly led global teams in launches like iPhone 6 and learned to excel under pressure with grace and grit. Kimberly now supports leaders and executives to elevate their presence and impact, as well as move from overwhelm to unstoppable. Kimberly has built high-performing, collaborative teams that drove 2 times market growth through innovative go-to-market campaigns. Her proven track record has demonstrated successes introducing exceptional products to new categories. As a certified professional coactive coach, she has coached and mentored teams in Fortune 500 companies. With a focus on mental health, she works with clients to shift from inner critics and negative perspective to positive perspectives.
Kimberly, look at you, rock star. That's a lot of stuff you've accomplished there. Good on you. So important, mental fitness. And by the sound of some of these companies you worked with, we're talking big games here. So I'm curious to know what, in your opinion, is mental fitness?
So Keelan, really, mental fitness is your ability to look at any kind of situation or challenge with a positive mindset instead of a negative mindset. You know, when COVID hit, everybody went out and they got pantry prepared, right? You know, we didn't have water, there wasn't toilet paper, but people just weren't really ready for a lot of the things that have come after this, right? Nobody was really ready for, you know, all of the working from home, let alone the distance learning and the kids and, you know, aging parents and all the different things that have happened. And there's so much overwhelm right now. So with mental fitness, it's really how you can kind of change that perspective so you can look at things differently.
And Kimberly, I know that you have 3 keys to mental fitness. Could you share those, please?
Sure. With mental fitness, really the first thing is you've got like these 3 muscles that you need to work on. The first one is that you want to intercept that inner critic. So it's recognizing the inner critic. And the second one is the ability to improve your sage perspective, which is this positive perspective. So you can look for like what the opportunity is or what the gift is in a situation. And the third one is this, what we call self-command. All of this is based on the work of Shirzad Chamine and Positive Intelligence. It's an incredible book. And the cool thing is you can actually switch really easily from your negative perspective to a positive perspective. So the third one is really like working on that muscle so that you can change more quickly.
So Kimberly, before we dive too far into these things, you mentioned previously that this is all very much grounded in research. Can you elaborate on that a little bit before we go crazy into each one of these things?
Yeah, Keelan, that's what I think is so cool about all of this is there have been amazing breakthroughs in science. So neuroscience, we now know that your brain is always forming and reforming. So this is a 7-week program. They've actually done MRIs and your brain waves can change from the first to the last week. There's positive psychology, and the breakthroughs there have been pretty incredible. They know now that like, it's not that you need to be successful to be happy. If you're happy, you actually can open up all of these doors that then lead you to success. And then in performance science, we know that if you have high EQ, you can perform better as an athlete or as a leader. It's the same thing. And what we've done with positive intelligence is actually broken it down through factor analysis into these 3 key muscles. So you no longer need to know over 24 different competencies for EQ. So all of that brought together to do positive intelligence or PQ or mental fitness. It's amazing. Like, I love it, as you can tell.
Yeah, you can only if you're listening to radio or podcast, you can hear her, but you can't see her big smile. But I'm sure you can hear that in her voice. You can definitely tell that you are excited about the service that you provide, and what a powerful thing that is, Kimberly. So share a little bit more about saboteurs and how this works.
Yeah. So basically, everybody has some kind of a judge, right? And your judge can be about the environment, your judge about yourself, or judge about others. And then there are what we call 9 accomplice saboteurs, and everybody has these different saboteurs. There's even a cool assessment that you can take to figure out what your different saboteurs are. And they're triggered in different situations, right? So you can have a pleaser saboteur, you can have a controller saboteur. And they essentially tell you little lies with a little bit of, or big lies with a little bit of truth. So they kind of get you hooked there. So for example, controllers can think, I need to do everything on my own. If I'm not doing it on my own, it's not really getting done the right way. And so what happens is, because they think this, and then, like, let's say that you're a CEO or an executive and you have this controller saboteur that's triggered, you then start making all of these decisions. And then your team thinks, oh, well, I don't need to make decisions anymore because, Tina or Keelan or somebody is going to like start in and step in and make decisions for me. So you kind of limit to the creativity. And what happens is you make like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's crazy how our brain, how it works and how it can get so creative to make you be in your norm, quote unquote, right? To bring you back to that place. It's just unbelievable to me. So let's dive into the judge. You mentioned the judge.
Yeah. So everybody has this saboteur, right? So your judge is either your judge of self, right? So you're like, oh, I'm not good at this. I can't do this. It's a lot of like a self-limiting belief. Or you have judge of others, right? So honest moment here, my judge of others is like, when I'm in the supermarket and people are wearing their mask on their chin, I'm a little judgy on that one. Or it can be judge of circumstances, where it's like, I'm so frustrated, things aren't ever going to work out because, COVID is totally messed up X or Y or whatever, right? Like you could be like, people aren't coming to us for mortgages anymore because things are so messed up. So there are judges affected in different ways. And a great way to combat that is to say, the lie that the judge wants me to believe is X, right? So the way that like Tina was talking earlier about, hey, you know what? They're saying that it's not affordable to get a house, but we actually know that it is, right? So if you're buying into that like circumstance piece of that judge, then it can limit what you can do. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes so much sense, Kimberly. And that's why it's, it's so difficult. And I'm a time management business efficiency coach. And it's not about the tools and techniques that I share. It's about creating a different habit, a habit to replace the bad habits that you have. And so same thing. And yeah, it's very interesting. And that's why, again, a coach is so important, because they're going to help push you and give you the direction to start creating that foundation, a good foundation that's going to actually hold and support the growth that you want. So let's talk about, Kimberly, the saga of inner wisdom. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So with your sage, really, it's got these 5 key powers to it. There's empathy, right? So empathy for yourself, empathy for others, explore, where you can explore different solutions, innovate, where you can, come up with these different solutions, navigate, activate, and innovate. So we don't have enough time to cover all of them in depth, but what it allows you to do is to move from this negative perspective to a much more positive perspective where you can see an opportunity, where you can, expand what you can do instead of just buying into kind of the lie of the saboteur.
And the easiest thing to do is to buy into that lie. That's the easy thing to do. So it's about making new habits and acting on them
Yeah,
and
easy
changing your
short
mind.
term, right? Just not
Yes.
doesn't make it. I always say you've got to take the hard road, which is change, but eventually that hard road will lead you to easy street.
100%. I love that. That's a great quote.
Spot on. So let's talk about PQ reps.
Yeah. So the way that you actually can shift from one to another, as an easy way to do it, is when you realize that you've got some kind of negative emotion, imagine it's like you're putting your hand on a hot stove, right? So it's a good like alarm for you. What you can do, and I'm going to teach you how to do one, right? So don't do this if you're driving, okay? But since y'all aren't driving at this moment, if you close your eyes for a second and you put your thumb and your fingertip together and you rub them with enough attention that you can feel the ridges of your fingerprints, and feel how that just centers you and calms you down and it brings you back into your body. So just doing that a couple of times a day, or right before you have something stressful, it can help you so that you can then have this more clear-headed focus to make decisions.
Thanks for that powerful exercise, Kimberly. I love
Yeah.
that. So, Kimberly, you've said that this can change your life, which is a big statement. Will you share an example?
Yeah, sure. I'll give you two real quick examples. So one is two different clients. One, he's had a super challenging relationship with his parents for a number of years, and using this empathy and PQ reps has completely changed how he looks at his mom and how he's able to interact with his mom. And the second piece is that I've had a lot of people, a lot of leaders that are able to move how they are with controlling, and their teams have gone from I want to quit to oh my gosh, I absolutely love working for this team now. So it's absolutely been night and day for people, and a lot of imposter syndrome has really been able to just be eradicated with this. So huge
Yes.
changes.
Yeah. Kimberly, thank you so much.